Look at that. Building 7, my friends. We're here in what I like to call the Building 7 of shows. The PigCast, a weekly stream where you could see me complain about things that bother me. What's on the topic for today? A lot of things, because a lot of things tend to bother me. I realized, as I've mentioned before many times, that's way too bright. Maybe I should have set that up beforehand, right? Maybe I should have done my due diligence, because look at that. I didn't realize how wide this camera was, but look at the distraction that causes. Maybe I should put it here behind me, but then you can't see shit. Okay, you know what? We're just going to put it here to the side and aim it at my face so that I get a little bit of that glow. That's way too distracting. I should have really considered this before the show, but I guess that's the point. I guess that's the point of these. Welcome. There's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. I have an action-packed episode. As I've mentioned before, I've decided to do these streams a little bit later for the reason that I'm allowed to drink. I'm allowed to drink. Usually when I do these streams, it was typically 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. But then here's the problem. If I have some sort of beverage of the alcoholic nature, then it's an issue. Right, it's a problem. Oh, look, it's morning, which I don't know if you guys have dealt with the school system here in the United States, but we feed lunch to the children at like 10 in the morning. So we're training them to have burgers and pizza and other shitty foods at like fucking 10. I never understood that until I left the school system, how much of a problem that was, that there wasn't an allocated breakfast, which there was, but it was at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then lunch was at 10. At 10? So technically, with the way that we're training the youth, you should be allowed to have a beer by 10 in the morning, because that in school time is what, fucking 12 by any other standard? Very disgusting, but you know what? We're here to talk about fun things like Ion think it's going to fit. Fun things like Ion think it's going to fit. As I've mentioned in the comment section for this particular video, that was my nickname in high school, right? Ion think it's going to fit. As we've mentioned in a previous live stream where we talked about Ave, right? African American Vernacular English. Ion is one of their terms, and here I saw it in this bit. I also have a stream deck that I stole from Daniel, so things are going to move along swiftly. If I wanted to, I don't know, make a bad joke, something like, hey, two fish are in a tank, one turns to the other and says, do you know how to drive this thing? And it's a joke that doesn't land, I could immediately just, without having to resort to shortcuts, it's right here. It's right here. If I want to say, hey, be better.
Be better. Be better.
Look at that. The show's moving up, friends. Everything's moving up. The quality, again, a lens that I'm borrowing from Daniel that I'm probably going to steal from him. We'll see. But things are moving up swiftly, as is the production value of the show, and as is this swift transition, which I forgot which button it is. I'm hoping it's this one. There you go. Ion think it's going to fit. Let me lower myself here. I've realized me and my infinite massive ego, I've decided to make my little bubble or box way bigger than anything. So let's just see what this homeboy's trying to do.
I don't think that's going to fit.
There you go. You know, there used to be Plato and Aristotle and many different theologians over the years. I don't think there's anything more profound than I don't think it's going to fit.
I don't think that's going to fit.
Now, I'm hoping that some sort of parody, right? That maybe that's some sort of parody that isn't, it isn't a true event that we're witnessing, that somebody decided to record. The thought of taking a piano and putting it in what looks like to be, let's go back, a piano in what looks like to be a Chrysler. That looks like one of those Chrysler Sebrings. I can't see the logo really. It could be Toyota. It could be like a I don't know, 2005 Toyota. Definitely not a Corolla. Could be I'm gonna, if I were to guess, I would guess a Chrysler Sebring. That would be my professional guess. Maybe somebody knows better, but it's good. It's good Wednesday motivation, right? If you're ever in a rut, if you're ever trying to figure out different ways to feel better about what you're doing, this is definitely one way to increase your value, your self-worth, by looking at people trying to fit an entire piano inside of the trunk of a Chrysler Sebring. God bless, my friends. God bless. Heat Shield says, sup, homies. Mike says, oh crap, I have to drive with one of my kiddos in the car and the headset just broke. Guess I have to catch this later. That is good. That is recommended. Usually, although I am streaming on Twitch as well, which is kind of a waste of time from what I've realized. But I've realized streaming on Twitch, they're more prone to blocking the things you say because of their algorithm or whatnot. They're good at picking that up, whereas YouTube is a little bit more free-forming, at least for the time being. We'll see. We'll see when I inevitably get some sort of strike for saying something like retarded. What? It's a term, all right? Come on. Be better. Be better.
Be better. Be better.
Be better. There you go. Still takes a couple clicks. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that, but I guess we'll figure it out as it goes. Norm Bathwater says action-packed and a bunch of emojis, a bunch of surfing ones, some knives. It looks like you've put what looks like to be California in a nutshell in emoji form. You're missing maybe homeless poop. Probably that. That might be the other one, homeless poop. That seems to be the encompassing overall opinion on California as of late. We have Wojcika Ellington says the situation with the speaker taken care of. Yeah, last stream we had a little bit of an incident, right? A little bit of a mystery afoot as far as the speaker was concerned. It was making random noises, and it was my neighbor's parent playing solitaire. My neighbor's parent playing solitaire, and somehow managed to connect to my speaker, which is what explains the noises. I believe one of you watching the stream called it, and I refused to believe it. I wanted to think that somehow it's conspiratorial. And the reason why I think that there's a little bit more in this neighborhood is because, well, my neighbors tend to be a little bit rambunctious. As a matter of fact, there's 20 of them that are currently living in that spot, and I had an incident. It's a small incident, but I feel like it's gonna set the precedent for what's to come. There's an orange tree in the backyard, right? And I've been working out with some rings, some gymnastic rings in the side of the house. There's a lot. Right, this is a weird story to get to, but one of the neighbors noticed, right, this neighbor on a side that's decent noticed that I had some oranges that fell on the ground, and she asked politely, hey, do you mind dropping some oranges off? Well, then the Cubans, the aforementioned Cubans on this side, which are not necessarily the best neighbors, they noticed this transaction, and they also requested oranges, and I believe that they're going to jump the fence to get the oranges from the floor. The same Cubans, as a matter of fact, right now, I believe the last time that I saw them, they were digging a hole in the floor to stuff a pig in there and cook it like it's Cuba. I don't know if they're familiar with the concept of barbecues, right? They're very, I would say, inexpensive at Home Depot. I have my little shitty barbecue that I spent maybe $50 on. And they're very easy to acquire. But they instead chose to dig a hole in, I believe, a rental. I think they're renting that place out. I don't think they're going to get their deposit. And there's other nefarious things that I've also realized living next to those Cubans. I believe they have an outhouse. And we'll leave it at that. Maybe the more I drink, the more I want to divulge. But it's definitely been an issue. And I feel like the property value of this estate is going down on a minute-to-minute basis. But we did figure out the speaker situation. Thank you for trying to figure out that mystery. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Got him, my friends. Look at this. Moving on up, we got the production. We got today we're drinking a black cherry. Speaking of what I was consuming, this is a high noon. This is a female's beverage. Anytime I see these sort of drinks, I believe wholeheartedly they were made for females. This is a vodka soda in a can. It has the mention made with real fruit juice or real juice. And some sort of concoction of vodka and black cherry. It's all right. It makes me feel like suddenly black guys are more attractive, right? It makes me feel like black guys are suddenly hotter the more I drink that. Hopefully by the time that I drink 2 of these, I'm not going to end up full-fledged wanting to throw down on a BBC. You know what I'm saying?
Bing bong.
Throw down on a BBC. If you're unfamiliar with what a BBC is, I suggest to Google it. Google images, what BBC is. We have Cliffhanger, says Waja. I imagine you're talking about the speaker. Heat Shield says, that's what you get for slowly giving out details like your time zone, state, and eventual face reveal. People bitching about your day drinking. Yes, that is true. But I believe more information is readily available than just that, right? It's obvious if you could find certain avenues. I believe a lot of reporters as of late are using the same means that people have used to find out information about me, you know, addresses, phone numbers, names, based on certain things that reporters do. More notably, what's that one that cried? She's cried after they found her information out. She's kind of like a 6.2. I saw her on TikTok. She was crying. She was doxing people. Taylor, maybe, is this something? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I figured it. I'm like Taylor, and then my fingers immediately went Lorenz, which is funny. So I guess that my body knew who I was talking about while my brain didn't catch up yet. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. This one, let me see if I could find her crying. This was a wonderful interview. I believe one of my thumbnails was her crying. Why doesn't Bing have her crying? I have to go to google.com and Google Taylor Lorenz crying in order to show pictures of Taylor Lorenz crying. Why is it that that's not a thing that shows up on Bing? Does it because it shows her in unfavorable light? Is that what it is? But this is who I'm talking about, I believe. I think she used the same technique, which is looking up, you know, publicly available documents. Fun stuff. 6.2. I'd hit it, but I wouldn't be proud of it. And I wouldn't brag about it either. I wouldn't necessarily be the first guy to go, yo, sup, hey, guys, you should look at this right here. Look at what I hit, you know? Let's just give myself one of these. I could have set that up way better. I apologize. I'm not at my full true level yet, right? I'm not at the full equilibrium. Fuck. I'm not at full PigCake equilibrium yet. So we'll see maybe in the next 30 minutes if I could actually provide a good fucking show for you guys. But anyways, welcome to the PigCast, I guess. The tagline that I want to kind of be the reason as to why I'm putting this live stream on this channel as opposed to others is, well, you know my profession. Unfortunately, I'm a professional magician, which I've also gotten in a conversation with recently to a layperson. They were very inquisitive as to how is it possible that you could make a living online doing magic tricks, and you had to go through the whole thing. It was a whole cringe conversation. But here, we're just providing things, a good outlook, right? A view as to things happening around in the planet, things that I find interesting, things that I complain about, such as the neighbors digging a hole, putting a pig in it, right? These are all things that you're seeing through the lens of a virgin magician, and I think that's a very interesting perspective. If I ever write an autobiography for some odd egotistical reason, I might just call it The View from Down Here. The View from Down Here. A take on my height and also down here in the social status of being a magician, which everybody should know is not really a good position to find yourself in. You'd give Taylor Lorenz my docs. Yes. Hopefully you mean my cocks, right? Did I explain your joke? I hope that I didn't just... Okay, I'm doing that. Taylor Lorenz, yeah, she was involved in some fun stuff. She's a cry bully, complaining about things when it happened to her, but obviously not when it happens to the people that she profiles. Journalism today isn't a real thing. It's not a real thing. As a matter of fact, that's a perfect segue. Look at the segue. If you've turned on your TV for maybe, 4 seconds, you would know that there is a court case with an individual named Daryl Brooks who ran over, no, he didn't run over. According to the Washington Post, a car, an SUV, ran over a crowd of people, and he was found guilty. Here's the bit. Right? I hope you could see this. Let me see if I could actually zoom in. Is the original post from Washington Post. After it happened, here's what we know about the sequence of events that led the Waukesha tragedy caused by an SUV. And this is, I believe, from today, where the SUV has been arrested. So the SUV in question here has been arrested. You guys could definitely sleep safe tonight, knowing that the SUV that caused this tragedy in Waukesha has actually been apprehended and is now serving time. I believe 456 years is what he's serving, which is, I guess, lenient considering I believe he killed 6 people. Here's a video of him staring down the judge. I would stare down the judge as well. I think she's gotten very popular because she's done an excellent job at controlling this otherwise clinical retard. This guy has to be clinically retarded. He did the one thing that guarantees a guilty verdict, and that is represent yourself. This guy said, no, dog, hold my drink. Hold my drink, as they say, right? Ave. And he said, hold my drink. I'm going to represent myself. And here's a video of him doing doing just that. Let's see.
So I'm the only one. I got one ear that work, and I heard that.
This is to benefit you so that you understand your witness has a prior record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom, and I have to elevate my voice. This is the alleged record of Abel Lescott.
Stop talking.
Oh, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I set the value in return for value this document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt. Attorney.
Show the judge, please.
So can
Your Honor, I
can
believe
you
he has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI 2nd from 1997 and OWI.
So I believe right now she's mentioning the fact that he has prior convictions as a rapist, I think, as a predator. He might be a convicted one. I'm not sure if he's actually legitimately that, but I do recall this from that story, and you could hear him. I don't know if you have to go to the bar to learn this technique where you pound your fist on the table. I don't know what part of the bar covers that particular tactic in the courtroom, but he implemented it here for everybody so that maybe the sound distracts the rest of the audience, right? Maybe the sound distracts the rest of the audience from the fact that he's a retard, a clinical retard.
OWI 2nd from 1997 and OWI 3rd from 1997 and OWI 4th.
I want them to show the stare down. There you go.
Criminal trespass to dwelling.
Honestly, this should have been the thumbnail of the video. There's another technique. I don't know if they cover this in lawyer school. That shows you my knowledge of law, and that I'm calling it lawyer school. But I don't know this one. I don't know which chapter is this particular technique, otherwise known as fuck. Let's see my improv skills here. Molestation. You know, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna. I deserved it. Couldn't come up with something in time. I had another interaction with an individual yesterday, by the way. Speaking of improv, we're at a bar, and in the bar, they have trivia night. If you ever go to a bar for trivia night, you should definitely consider things to yourself, right? You should consider, I don't know, taking, what's the bit that they say? Taking a long walk off a short pier. Some boomer shit, right? You go there and we sit down, we order some pizza, some moose juices, as they say, some 32-ounce bitches, right? These are drinks that essentially are designed for bitches, but they have 5 different types of alcohol, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. And there's a whole trivia night. There's people with elf ears. There's a bunch of people dressed like Michael Moore. And they asked politely, hey, you know, this table is usually reserved for trivia night. Do you guys move? And I'm like, no, I don't mind moving at all. We sit outside. And this guy that obviously does improv, I'm mid-conversation, and this guy comes in from the blind area, the rapist corner, as they say, and he screams, and he goes, hey, do you guys want... And I say, what the fuck? Jesus. Just, you know, out of normal behavior as a human, when somebody comes up to you and starts screaming in your ear, and he was deflated. He walked away offended and upset that I said, whoa, dude, Jesus. And he goes, we're doing trivia night in there. If you guys don't mind, you guys are more than welcome to come in and do some trivia night. And he walked away deflated when we said no. As a matter of fact, even if I wanted to, this interaction would probably make me not want to go in there. And what are you going to ask anyways? Oh, who's the, whatever the fuck, what is the rare metal that's fucking Captain America's shield? I don't care. All right. I don't want to be one of these Marvel people. As a matter of fact, there was a meme that I wanted to pull up from Marvel because I've seen way too much Marvel and Disney adults and adulting. Unfortunately, my perusal of TikTok, you see a lot of it. A lot of 29-year-old people knowing the lore and the this and the that. Oh, God. And this is coming from a dude that does magic tricks. Be better.
Be better. Be better.
Be better. But I have 3 skills in this life. I could easily point out who's a magician in a crowd. I could point out who's a teacher. And I could also point out who does improv. And usually they're the ones that are these homeboys, right? Even though I believe, Mike, if you're in the chat, hiding away from your child. He was actually a good, I would say, person that I met that's from that sphere of improvisation and not a complete loser retard like most improv people are, right? Just actors in general. Oh, God, gross. Let me look through the comments here. Sorry, I've been skipping these, talking about how an SUV attacked a group of people. Mr. May, Mr. May, I ask you, how are you so handsome and attractive? You know, I don't know. I do consider myself a good-looking chap, right? Certain angles don't catch me in a flattering light, but, I think I've done my due diligence in terms of exercise, but I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Look at that. Really catering to my ego there. Hane says, only narcissists and the dumb represent themselves. Lawyers spend decades in the craft. You're not going to beat them in a week of Googling. Exactly that. Or doing this. A week of Googling and or staring people down while they point out your prior convictions. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so he was busted today. The jury said, yeah, guilty as fuck unanimously, right? It was probably a closed and shut case from the very beginning because there's footage everywhere. He has a music video where the very car that's used in the crime is part of the music video. You could have guessed, by the way, that he had a music video. I'll leave you to figure out what reasons. That this man had a music video. I'll leave you to figure that out. Why this dude had a music video. Rap video. We'll go back before things get dicey. I really do like this thing, though. Look at that. Efficient, quick, right? It's what we used to use in ham radio. It makes everything seamless, which is why I don't know. Fuck. I said don't now. Which is why I don't know why Daniel had such a hard time when we recorded those episodes, because everything's simple. It's easy. You could see the buttons and it tells you what that button does. And yet he was still incapable. My goodness. It was an SUV, not a black guy, says Corn Pop. Yes, I think we went over that. That it was, according to the Washington Post, an SUV that attacked a group of people. I think American Dad has the best take on that, which is, here's a gun, right? Go ahead, gun. Go ahead, SUV. Run a group of people over. In Christmas, Mr. Scrooge. Could you imagine? So yeah, that meme was one of my favorite things that I've seen, especially when they arrested the. It got a good chuckle. It got a good chuckle, which is a rarity these days. Hey Pig, why be great at one skill when you could suck at a dozen for a friend? Why be good? Why not suck off a dozen? You know what I mean? A dozen dicks. I should have named this show The Car Crash, right? Because I feel like it's been nothing but car crashes today. I'm not going to apologize for that. I think the longer it goes, the better it gets, maybe. Right? That's what she said. The name of this episode is Crystal Girls, right? And there's a reason for that. I initially wasn't going to put the Crystal Girls. I forgot it. But then I realized by the title that it wouldn't make sense if we don't talk at least a little bit about crystal chicks. And I saw a lot of them. I went to a music festival last week, 3 Points. It was down here in the 305. And I was astonished to see not only how many crystal chicks were out there. You could tell. You could look at them. You could gauge them out in public. They're obvious, right? Usually somewhat, biggish girls. There's some attractive crystal girls. But at 3 Points, I'm more concerned. I think it might be my age now that I'm looking around and concerned as to how the fathers of these shotties, as they say, these hoes, these backdoor shotties, are allowed to leave their parents' house dressed in the way that they are. That's the part that I'm concerned with. Before, maybe 10 years ago, I would have been like, damn, look at that shawty. Yo, that one's thick as a bowl of oatmeal, boy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now I'm concerned. I feel like paternal. I have some sort of paternal instinct to want to protect them and not want to have intercourse with them. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I do still, as a heterosexual, cis privileged male, want to insert my penis inside the majority of these women. But my first concern is, where are your fathers? And why are they letting you leave the house that way? Come on, be better.
Be better. Be better. Be better.
So there's a lot of that. As a matter of fact, you know what? We'll just cut to this one. There was a TikTok that I think really scarred me. I don't know if this was 3 points, but definitely was something of the liking, one of these fucking festivals. I'm also getting too old for these festivals. It's a lot of music just played on loudspeakers. I'm not entirely fucking convinced that you're actually actively mixing. Okay, you're definitely not, especially for a festival like this. You have your set pre-recorded. You're just pressing the buttons and going through the motions. And don't get me started on the fucking hype guy. Okay, on the hype guy, the dude that your only job in the actual festival is to go 1, 2, 3, let's go. That's it. That's your entire existence. Okay, I'm here. Even if I'm here to at least hear the music, get a buzz on, look at the sights, the many sights, not to listen to a fucking guy with a microphone that's not well adjusted scream 1, 2, 3, let's go. Every 3 minutes. That's the bit. This one right here. This is what got me concerned. I was about to use the keyboard and not this brand new thing. So this is, I believe, a person that is showing off the fact that they have their, I can't put the audio on this because it's copyrighted audio, but the comments also were a little bit astonishing here. When people ask me how I feel safe walking around with my pad and ass out in public, right? And we have what looks like to be a fairly attractive Asian woman wearing what looks like to be underwear with what looks like to be a sanitary napkin. And she's dancing around with another group of equally, I would say equally numbered festival hosts. Now, looking through the comments, right? The comments in at least the majority, you have some that go, what? Right? The majority were loving the energy. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. When I was reading this on my phone, on my app, a lot of the comments that were on top were very negative. Here, the only one that's positive is the one that says loving the energy. Right here, it says love this energy. A bunch of Brazilians here, I imagine, saying, yo, too much, dog. I guess these are Spanish too. Having mixed confidence. Having high confidence or low self-esteem are often mixed up. But the majority of these were very positive when I was first looking through this. And I think objectively that's gross. I get it, right? It's natural. It's normal. It's a thing that happens to females. But for you to broadcast in a festival to absolutely anybody within a 10-mile vicinity that's currently going on, there's different things that you could do, different outfits you could wear, maybe shorts, right, if you still want to be cool. Meanwhile, I'm asking, can you see my pad, right? Like a normal person. I don't think there's anything free-spirited about this. Maybe I could go max. Then the comments get a little bit gross. Again, I'm sorry. I understand females that this is a thing that happens. I'm with you. I kneel. I kneel to you guys in a protest-like fashion at your woes that you deal with by being a female. But I gotta tell you, I think this is my limit. I think this confidence is my limit, and I can't imagine what would be the equivalent if a dude walks around with some sort of diaper, right? The argument that I saw from the majority of these comments was, it's natural. Why do you find it gross? It's natural. It's a normal thing. Yeah, it is a normal thing. I get that. But so is peeing. So is pooping. Those are normal, right? What if I just sit down and take a dookie, take a cheeseburger dookie? Would that be acceptable? It's natural. It's normal. I wish I had your confidence. You can. So I guess she's inspiring more people to wear what looks like to be cheeky underwear with the pad showing. Is this You're Such a Queen, right? You make it look cute, though, says Cass 8. A free spirit. This type of confidence, ladies. We have a guy that looks like, let's see with the account. I don't know what that picture is. Mona Lisa, maybe. It says, this type of confidence, ladies. And he puts a heart. I'm sorry I had to show it to you guys. I'm sorry I had to show it to you guys, but that's a thing that's out there, right? I guess that ties into the crystal ladies, because she definitely looks like a type that has a rose quartz hidden underneath her boyfriend's pillow. She seems like the type. If she has her pad showing, I think that's a sign that she's into a quartz and rose quartz and obsidian, right? I don't know if that's a one that they use. They fucking suck up all the dark energy. But I really wanted this segment to show up all the comments that were positive, and instead I got a lot of comments that were negative, which is odd. So that was kind of a bummer of a segment, but you know what? It's a thing. Let me look through the comments here. Again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm ignoring the comments somehow. I remember that was one criticism, like, hey, Piggy, you've changed, right? The ego has gone to your head. The ego of being a Z-level YouTube magic superstar, right? YouTube online magic superstar has gotten to your head. So you don't look at our comments anymore? Come on, man. Be better, Pig. Be better, Pig.
Be better.
So I just want to make sure that I go through the comments and I don't get those bitches bitching at me, you know? Them bitches. Mostly peaceful SUV driving, says Slatzer, in reference to Daryl Brooks. We have, may you please shout out Miguel Capote and his loving dad, Miguel Lanel Capote, you handsome man. I just said it. Even though I hate the concept of shout outs, I think it's a Zoomer thing, right? Where it's like, oh, come on, shout me out. I believe that if you ask for a shout out, you definitely have jerked off to Fortnite, right? Whatever chick is a part of Fortnite, you've definitely fapped it to Fortnite. But you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it to you, I Care, because first of all, your name is I Care. Right, so I care about Iker, right? You get
Okay, let's go.
My finger slipped. I meant to go for the car crash. Instead, I went for that. But you know what? We'll live with it. Has magic ever gotten you laid? I did have an odd experience with an earlier girlfriend where she hid cards in various places and I had to find them, right? That was kind of a encounter that involved playing cards. It was cringy looking back on it, but magic has gotten me some action. Unfortunately, I hate myself for it. I feel like a victim. Gas station says, I saw a 300-pound child with a Mandalorian shirt today waddling through a parking lot. Day ruined. Yes, right. Those things ruin my day. I get it. You might say, whoa, PigCake, you're such a miserable person. Why do you care what people have to say? Why do you care what people enjoy in their lives, right? Because I'm trying to make the world a better place, right? I'm trying my best to make the world a better place. And how better can I do that? By trying to integrate this idea of not living through fiction, not living through these weird Marvel characters, right? Not living through things that are meant for children. And unfortunately, that's no longer the case because these things have now been catered towards 35-year-olds. 35-year-old 300-pounders that wear Mandalorian shirts or wear like a Punisher shirt, right? Ugh, God, fuck. I saw a couple of those at the festival. A couple chicks too, kind of rough, right? You know, there's a certain level of confidence you have to have more so than wearing a pad where it's visible. That goes with you wearing certain shirts when you're not fitting in the shirt. I guess let's just stop cutting corners here. I saw a lot of people fitting into shirts that did not belong on their body in that music festival. The lawyer that represented Johnny Depp dropped Kanye recently. Yeah, he's been dropped by a lot of things. But I tout it to Kanye not necessarily being intelligent. Right? If he phrased things in a better way, I believe that he wouldn't be getting the vitriol that he's getting because of, you know, the way that he says things. He's not very intelligent. I do believe that his points are from experience when it comes to the things, contracts that he's dealt with, people that he's interacted with in that industry. But the way that he's saying it is not necessarily in the best way. So it makes sense why all these companies are dropping him like chicks in Captain America shirts at 3 points drop Snickers bars down their throat. Deservingly so. I wish I could come up with a way to have you guys do the car crash. The only way to do it, from my understanding, is through giving money. I don't want that to be the case. But I wish there was a way to do it that was maybe on a timer. right? Like maybe you had one per stream that you could do a car crash. Maybe you could press a button on your end and you give me a car crash when I say like a terrible bit, or I bomb a joke, or I just completely a building 7, an entire segment. And it would be great if it was limited to one a person, right? Like one thing. But then I realized people could just make multiple accounts and then just spam it. So there's no other way to do it, but I would like for that to be a thing. Let's go through here. What's the saying? Anyone who represents themselves in courts has a fool for a client. Facts, right? Could you imagine? Has that ever worked? I don't know if any of you guys are particularly interested in litigation, right, throughout the years, but has that ever worked? Has somebody ever represented themselves and actually gotten out of a crime? I don't believe it. And who's fucking texting me nonstop here? My fucking goodness. The other thing that I hate are phone notifications. If you want to get me like upset and angry, first of all, well, let's not get into a political discussion here. Show me something that I disagree with. That, and then also send me about 14 messages at once. And that's how you get me to want to punch the cutest puppy you've ever seen in your life. Let's go through here. Got into some... I hate that I skipped a bunch of... I just pressed one button and it skips. Go into... some Wiccan Discord servers. It's a subhuman car crash. Well, that assumes, or that implies that you yourself have been looking through these servers. I don't know what that says about you and your lifestyle, but if you're perusing through Wiccan Discords, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Discord mods, but Discord mods are a meme. It seems to be a new Zoomer insult to be referred to as a Discord mod. I hate that I'm on fucking Bing and that the only thing that I have to... or Edge rather, and I have to go to google.com. And the reason I do it is because none of my information is on Edge, because I don't want to give Edge any information. If I give them information, then they're going to keep popping. Hey, you don't want to use Cortana? Are you sure you don't want to use Cortana? Cortana's been overhearing the porn that you've been watching loudly in your shitty apartment. Would you like recommendations for other similar types of CBD porn? No? You have to go through the fucking BIOS to shut it down. So are you sure? Do you want to reconsider turning off this notification? Because we will make your computer slower. Fuck. What was I going to look up? I went on a tirade right now. I forgot what I was going to look up. Oh, Discord mods. Thank you. Jesus. I thanked myself. Discord mod meme. And I guess the meme works because Discord mods are usually atrocious looking. They look like Boogie2988, which is somebody that I've covered on my PigCake Plus channel, right? I have a separate channel where I talk about certain things that I don't want to talk about here on this magic-related channel, even though today we're not talking about magic stuff. These nuts. So this is what the majority of Discord moderators look like, I guess. I hate to operationally define the meme, but you kind of get the idea of Discord mods, right? They're usually quite rotund in nature. They're very confident, I guess, when it's not deserved. You could see Homeboy over here. This is a snap. I believe that that's a real snap. In my head, I want to firmly believe that that's a real snap that somebody took a screenshot of. I got to get used to this. I got to get used to this bit. I keep going to the shortcuts on my keyboard. But, yeah, I refuse to partake. I refuse to partake in looking at mods or looking at Discord servers, especially Wiccan Discord servers. Hey, Piggy, you want to hear something meta? You want to hear something meta? Okay, let's see. I was listening to the new Trump tapes, and he was doing that idiot stuttering thing, and he launched my Google Assistant. I rewound the video, and it happened again. That's interesting. That implies that when you initially set up the thing that I don't want to say out loud because then 14 things are going to go off, that you sound like what he sounded like when he was doing that stuttering thing. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know what that says about you, but maybe you should sound cooler when you're doing the thing where you set up that service where your voice activates thing. You got to put a cool voice. Be like, hey, okay, Google. See, I said it and nothing came off because I didn't initially program it with a cool voice. But maybe you should program it with a cool voice. Slatcher says, taking a dump is also natural. Ain't no one want to see that. That is true, right? You're just going around with the toilet paper with what looks like to be duty streaks. And you're going, hey, look, it's natural, right? It's natural. Dance with me. Dance with me. This is streak marks, duty streaks is natural. Come on, girls. Let's go through here. Sorry, I keep going through these comments, and more comments pop up, but I don't want to ignore the PigCake community. That's the thing. So I guess we're going to go through these and make sure that everybody's satisfied. This would be the equivalent of me blowing all of you guys. So I hope you appreciate it. Disgust response is an inbuilt safety measure. These people have a fundamental misunderstanding of people. That's hysterical. Casey, the old PigCake would have that energy. I imagine you're referring to the energy of showing your pad in public. Magic Orthodoxy, my father's here. And he says, before the video went live, I had to watch for legalized cannabis. To watch a video for legalized cannabis. I guess what Google's trying to say there is that my demographic of individuals that watch videos like this have to be high in order to watch this style of content. And I agree. I believe that if you watched me high, you would probably find me a lot funnier. I've been told from people that have smoked marijuana around me that I'm hysterical when they're high. Rather, I'm not gonna smoke pot. By the way, I'm not gonna be one of those people that smokes pot and gets the munchies. Come on, this is enough of a drug for a person. This and pot, you're asking yourself for, I guess, you're asking to be on the highway to become a Discord moderator. Is that better? Was that good? Did I save that bit? Did I save it? Gas station says Obsidian is a Queen of Spades tattoo to the metaphysical crowd. Is the Queen of Spades, is that a cuck thing? That's a cuck thing from my understanding, right? If you get a Queen of Spades tattoo. Corn Pop says, hey, Magic Orthodoxy, I watch your videos every morning right after you post them. I don't always comment, but I watch them while I'm drinking coffee. Look at that. Look at that. Watching them good old magic reviews, which reminds me as to the poor industry that we're in. I remember many magicians online that I've had arguments with that many years ago I've mentioned how magic is in a steady decline, right? And yet you see people still put products into the community, still put products into the market. Is that really a sign of a dying art form? I don't think so. I don't think so, especially from these people on Facebook. Ugh. God, Facebook threads for magicians is just, you might as well just go to watch a compilation of abortions. I know, terrible, awful, right? But it's comparable. It's comparable. I'm painting a picture in your head. It's called art. Michael Lorenz says, I saw one guy that was really good. He got the cop arrested in court. That's hysterical. If you represent yourself and you get the cop arrested in court, I think you deserve a beach from the judge at that point. I think, honestly, you should be given a beach from the judge with our tax dollars funding that. Piggy, you did a 27-phase ambitious card routine, only using the glide, and got 3 girls pregnant. You know, I think that would be a nightmare, more of an actual dream. You make it sound like that's something that's great, like, oh, dude, homeboy did 27-phase ambitious card and he got 3 girls pregnant. That's a fucking nightmare. Imagine dealing with all that. Ronan Rice says, maybe if you drop a 69 in the chat, when we fee, you bombed a joke. Yeah, but I feel like that would be abused, right? So I would love for you guys to be able to drop a car crash, right, every time. But then the bit would be the car crashes wouldn't stop because the whole stream's a car crash. You get it? That would be the bit. That would be the joke of the PigCake community watching a stream, right? It'd be that. Let's see. Nightbot could take care of that. Remote access for you. It will take a couple other remote apps working in harmony, but it's possible. My buddy has his room lighting connected. I'll send you the Discord invite to the company with the lighting later. I don't know what you're referring to. Heat shield. I think it might have been to something that you said previously. Please pin that PC. Wow, Corn Pop, that's hilarious. So Corn Pop said something. I already addressed it, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't pin worthy. Okay, it wasn't pin worthy. And you can't just tell me to pin something. As a matter of fact, you know what? Kyle, I'm going to pin of shame you. You're going to get a pin of shame just for that, for suggesting that I should pin something, all right, telling me what to do. Pig God in this fucking stream, all right, the God of all pigs, even though there's currently one that was butchered and being cooked in a hole. I don't think I could eat pork now because of how much I love pigs. Ducks, too. I'm a huge fan of ducks as of late. And I can't ever see myself eating a duck after becoming infatuated with them and how cute they are and how they waddle on the ground, right? They're the only animals that I care about. I don't really care about dogs. Pets are really annoying. The concept of pets is really annoying, but I would like to partake in having a duck. I don't know. I don't care. By the way, Kyle, I don't care if you hit me with reverse psychology and that's you wanting to get pinned, okay? I don't care. All right, it was my choice. I made it. So don't make it seem like somehow you're in my head, because you're not. This is impenetrable. Okay, this is an impenetrable force. I've never lost an argument, and I've never been penetrated psychologically by somebody, because my mind is on a different plane. All right, I'm on a 6-dimensional thinking pattern. So try to beat that. So I guess this is what I've been digressing from. This is a video that I saw on TikTok. I'm sorry, this is a TikTok heavy episode. I apologize for that, for the people that are regular, normal, acquainted people. But I guess it's good to be aware of this sort of stuff. This is an argument between a couple. We'll leave it at that until I explain it. Talking about crystals. So let's just do a swift transition. Swift transition to this particular bit here. And you can see what's going on here, right?
Finding these around my room because
I placed them there.
What are they? I keep
Tortellini crystals.
I don't understand why they're in my room. Why do you keep
Quick point, by the way, I'm sorry. TikTok has this thing where you have a stitch that you attach to the video, right? So this is somebody else's video that somebody has added a video of somebody playing around with fucking play sand. I hate this. I fucking hate this. And you see this with like people reacting to this side of the video. It's never good. It's never good. But this is the original video where a couple's arguing about crystals found in his space.
Because I know our horoscopes aren't compatible. So I spoke to my friend who knows all about crystals, and she said if you place them if I place them in your room, you'll start to like me.
That it's a crystal, first of all.
Okay, well, it was working.
I don't care for your rigatoni crystals.
Tortellini. It's
You
not
know,
a pasta.
you know you're saying a pasta.
No,
you're saying a pasta.
You're saying rigatoni. That's a pasta. Tortellini.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't believe in the horoscope shiz.
How?
Now, there's a problem. Actually, no. Let's take a look at the comments first. Run. How could you say that? I'm sorry, I'm offending you. Am I offending you or the pasta crystals? I think she means tourmaline. Tourmaline, which I believe is a crystal. I like how her objective is to get him to like her, and yet he's openly and obviously annoyed by what she's doing. That's a good sign in a relationship, by the way. When one person says, you know, I'm not feeling this relationship, and the other person says, no, come on, let me convince you to stay around, to stick around. It cracks me up how many people don't realize when they're watching a skit. Unfortunately, I watched this video. I was very excited when I titled this stream Crystal Girls, right? Because I'm like, yes, finally, we caught one in the action. This is a great example. These crazy bitches that think that crystals are good. They tape crystals to their fucking steering wheel. Steering wheel. They glue crystals to the wheel of their car. If that ejects, you have shrapnel inside of your body now. That could be clinical retardation, I feel. That's definitely a sign of clinical retardation. And I wanted to show you guys this video, and I looked up the original, and it was a skit. It was a bit. The couple does these little joke stuff. I see a lot of these couples pop up on TikTok. It was a skit, and I was deflated. I was deflated because I thought that it was a real interaction, and I was lied to. It reminds me of Trader Joe's, and I've mentioned this before. I'm a huge fan of talking to people, right? People have mentioned before in my social circle that I could talk to anyone for any amount of time, and I think that that's a good skill to have, right? Even people that they don't necessarily see eye to eye with, that they'll just stick me in there, and then we'll have conversation for 2 hours about dumb shit. Right? Because I like to ask questions, ask them about their... People love me search. They love talking to themselves, talking about themselves, rather. Right? So I could talk to anybody for any amount of time because I'm good with that. And where was I going? Where was I going from that? I can't believe that I deserve a car crash. I was doing the very thing that I'm accusing others of. I was here doing a lot of me search. I'm here talking about myself and how good I am at talking about people, and I forgot the point of this conversation. I'm sure we'll get back to it. Bedazzled face after airbags deploy, right? Yeah, you were essentially throwing a grenade, a Call of Duty style grenade in your face. I hate the videos where they milk it for time and the payoff always sucks. Yeah, I do recall recording a couple videos when I was in England with Ryan Tricks, where because of Facebook and how the algorithm works and how the monetization works, you have to stretch the video out to like 5 minutes. So if you look at Ryan Tricks' videos from February that were in England, I think I'm in a couple. I believe Mark Lemon was in a couple of those, and he's really stretching it out because he's trying to fit it within that timeline, and it's pretty bad. The thing I hate about these videos is that you don't know if they're real or some bullshit acting, usually acting. That's the point that we've gotten to, right? Where you don't know if it's a farce, if it's something that's fake, if it's a joke, if it's real. You don't know. You don't know. And that tends to also work for other things, other certain people protesting things. You go, are you real? Is that real? Is that happening? Are people actually talking about that? Is this something that people are going up in arms for? You don't know if it's a parody or not. You don't know if it's a parody or not. We've gotten to that point in life where things are the same. It's there was a sketch on that. I forgot what that was years ago. It might have been Black Mirror too that somebody showed me that was that. Corn Pop says, I used to spend days going through Magic Orthodoxy's Magic collection. He must have rooms full of cool stuff. Yeah, I figure it's just a bunch of toys for virgins, right? I equally would have a good time perusing through the collection, but I'm fully aware of the virginity displayed there. Would you eat dog in South Korea? No, I would not eat dog in South Korea. I'm just not a fan of dogs as pets. I would never eat a dog or, hurt a dog or do anything to it. I'm just not a fan. Not a fan. Anytime there's the door knocks. Oh, is it me? Is it me? Oh, is it me? Is it me? And dog owners are just the worst. I keep doing the bit, but it's a real bit because I've seen it with my fucking eyes. And I wish that I could wash parts of my brain to forget memories. And one of them is, a mutual individual that we know trying to control a dog that they brought to a bar. You brought your dog to a bar. So they bring the dog in and the dog is acting up because it's a fucking dog and they're there doing all their little tricks, right? All the little things that they do that they learned on a fucking video and they did it 3 times and they think, oh, the dog learned it. No, the dog's an animal. It's an animal that we've domesticated in the past 200 to 300 years. Okay, maybe longer, but we've domesticated these fucking wolves to be bitches and to, oh, hey, let me shoot you. And the dog just falls down, right? And they're doing all these things in public in this bar and it's not working. The dog's still barking and I'm just here trying to enjoy my beverage that we were clearly enjoying before the dog came to the scene. So I'm not a fan of that. So it's less dogs and I'm more not a fan of dog people. I know a lot of crystal meth girls. I believe that. I would imagine. I think you've mentioned your area before, Corn Pop, and I imagine that's pretty prevalent in that area. Kyle, could we vote for horoscope to be the new spelling? That's a great one. That's a good one. You know what? I'm going to reverse your pin of shame, Kyle, and I'm going to replace that pin message with this one because horoscope is definitely way better than horoscope, and it's accurate. It still fits. Right, but crystal girls are just the absolute worst. As I mentioned, some are attractive. Don't get me wrong, right? Some are shotties, some crystal mommies, but for the most part, you're getting some unhealthy individual, to say the softest thing I could say. Right, softer would be their bellies. Right, look at that quickness. Hey, boy.
Okay, let's go.
Typically softer individuals that rely on these magical things to tell them things, right? It's the same thing with psychics, same thing with palm readers and all this stuff. Could you imagine looking at a bunch of stones for guidance in life, right? Or thinking that somehow if you rub this shit on your... I'd still do it, don't get me wrong. If there's a shoddy that says, hey man, to put this shit under your bed, and she's out here giving me the Gok 3000, yeah, all right, I'm going to put that rose quartz in my asshole, okay? So it's definitely contextual. It's not just my mood all the time. Damn, I'm on a roll, says Kyle. Yeah, you're on a roll. Don't let it get to your head. Okay, don't let it get to your head. As Manel made me some posters, I guess, or video drops for a pin of shame and pin of glory. You've gotten a pin of shame and a pin of glory on the same stream, which is very rare. Very rare. But I need to put the little button so I could press it and it shows up pin of shame or pin of glory. I need to do that myself, make a little video. Right? So that when I want to drop one, you have a little professional thing. Because again, everything's going up on this show, my friends. Everything is going up. All right? Hail this show. You know what I'm saying? Hail show. PigCake show. PigCast. All right. All right. Copying a little bit there. Let's go say here. Piggy was deflated like Tom Brady's balls. Well, Tom Brady, I imagine right now is dealing with a terrible divorce. I guess you could see it in his face. But man, I feel sad for his balls when he gets divorced because they're going to be deflated for the best reason. I can't imagine Tom Brady is not going to die from just tiredness of getting sex too much after he gets divorced. He has to be. I remember at the festival, I met up with a cop buddy. And he was there in a uniform wearing shorts. I'm like, you have to just be like brushing off so many girls that come up to you and go, come on, let me sit on your face. You just have to be pushing them away from the outfit, the attire, the gun, right? The fucking, just the stance, the cop stance. I imagine it's going to be the exact same thing with Tom Brady. Speaking of divorce, this is another one. This is another video that I saw, as I mentioned before. This is a TikTok-heavy episode. I think it's good to be aware of these things, right? I know that there are other things that the youth are partaking in that I'm kind of too old for, and I believe that TikTok is that good bridge that bridges my, aging ass to what's interesting in modern culture, right? Unfortunately, I like to believe that I'm on top of things, but I'm not, right? I'm not on top of things. And speaking of divorce, this is another one. And I'm glad looking through the comments that most people took this in the way that they should. Let's go here. Swift transition, right? People say I'm not progressive. Look at that. I'm here dropping swift transitions every single stream. Every single stream, I'm doing transitions. Dr. Mogg says, fuck a duck. The internet reached its high point years ago. We have all we have now is algorithm-supported nudes. I only came here for the crystal meth hot moms. I think those are contradictory. Crystal meth hot moms. You do enough crystal meth, and the only thing that's hot is the diarrhea shooting out of your bubbling anus. So let's see if I could show you guys the entirety of this abo of an opinion. It's a woman here, younger woman. Fuck.
So here's the thing, relationships are all about building. Anytime you're building something, there's going to be an obstacle that occurs that you have to choose whether you want to get over it or not, or I'll say overcome it. And so at the beginning of my marriage, I cheated on my husband, and that was an obstacle that we chose to overcome, and we overcame. So we're just here to say, hey, we overcame one of the hardest things a relationship can go through. It's not impossible. Should you choose to work on it or not? If you don't want to overcome that, you should still forgive. Because even in your next relationship, there will be obstacles that you have to get over. And how can you overcome them if you don't know how to forgive the last? Anyway, God bless you guys.
Could you imagine? Right, let's do a little thought experiment here, right? Could you imagine? Not a thought experiment, sorry. Realization. Let's realize things together. This is where we've come. People have gotten way too comfortable. Way too comfortable online. To just put their dirty laundry, right? Look at the length that people used to have to go through to air their dirty laundry, right? Let's look at the 1500s, where correspondence could result in death of the courier. You would have to, for people to find out that you're a bubbling whore, right? There would have to be statues erected in your name, and only generations later, through history books written by people that only got third-hand accounts of the actual incidents, that's how people would find out about things that happened. Now, all you got to do is just turn your phone on. Turn your phone on and aim it and tell everybody, hey guys, I cheated on my husband, and here's why you should learn from me, right? We got through it. And it was an obstacle that we had to overcome. So now, this is what's, I guess this is modern life. This is modern life right here. People just airing their dirty laundry. The comments were actually great, though. Obviously, I found this video because of other videos, but the comments, surprisingly, on this one were actually tremendous. I like the comments that are usually when it comes to things like these. Sorry, I got distracted here for a second. Jesus. Usually when it comes to things like this, right, you look at the comments and the comments are like, yeah, girl, yeah, I'm glad God bless you, you figured it out, you know, you guys are stronger now because of it. But no, all these comments were pretty much like, yo, you're an idiot, right? How long did it take for y'all to move past it? This is, I guess, one dude that's trying to shout out the shoddy. Nope, cheating is not an obstacle. It's a choice. You chose rather or not. Fuck. Okay. You chose rather or not. Detroit's T. I guess that makes sense. It's a choice. You chose rather or not to put yourself in a situation where cheating is even a possibility, right? We, said by Elizabeth, assuming he ain't prenup. So yeah, most of these comments are very against her, which makes me feel happy, right? Makes me feel happy. I've been disillusioned.
So here's the thing. Relationships are all about building. Anytime you're building something, there's going to be
I've been disillusioned looking through TikTok comments before and seeing the worst in society. I thought that was a penis. Seeing the worst in society and seeing people agree with troglodytes like that and that stupid fucking opinion. Oh no, it's something that we went through. If you remember, we did a live stream, I believe the other day, where it was a swinger, and I think I turned it into a video. Actually, I turned it into a video that I put in this channel, a little bit of a preview, right, of PigCake Plus, the stuff that I put on Twitch. So we went through a lady that was a swinger, and she was a swinger because she cheated on her boyfriend with 4 men, and then eventually told her husband that she's happier being a swinger. And even though he was unhappy, it's something that they worked through. And she kept saying, hey, remember, this is something, and you were not happy. You weren't happy with me, but then you understood. It's like, well, you're talking for him. And then they eventually separated. So it's great, right? Crystal girls with boyfriends are single from 10 to 2 on Saturdays. Trust me. Facts, yes, top notch, coming in with the heat. That is true. Crystal girls aren't in any sort of committed relationship. And when they get caught, they just blame the moon. They blame Mercury retrograde, right? They blame the alignment of fucking the Big Dipper on how they got the Big Dipper. And by Big Dipper, I mean the big... Black cock. Black cock. I also need to do a zoom in. I don't know how to do that on OBS. I need to put a zoom in, right? And zoom in. And learn how to do that. Michael Lawrence calling out Top Notch. Some drama in the chat. Michael Lawrence says, yo, Top Notch, why did you delete your comment from yesterday? I'm not aware of this, right? Sometimes I'm aware of the happenings in the PigCake community in the comment section, right? Various deleted comments, but Michael Lawrence out here dropping the heat saying, yo, why'd you delete your comment yesterday? So I guess maybe you saw a comment that was subsequently deleted. I've seen a lot of deleted comments, right? Other people that used to be fans of the channel, changing accounts, interesting stuff. They will also try to tell you that they love you after being hanging out for like 3 weeks. Lamau. Then they surprised when you stop talking to them. Yeah, I guess that's experience. I figure that's mostly experience, especially coming from a 23-year-old attractive man that lives in California. So I imagine that's your bread and butter. Your bread and butter is shotties, crystal shotties. So if there's anybody that's a theologian in that field, it's top notch. I'm like a crystal rare, says Kyle. I want to actually commit a crime reading that comment. Heat Shield says, nice, Kyle. I remember my first PigCake, pin of shame. I got the pin of comedy. No idea what I said last year. Right? Maybe there should be some sort of archive because something I've realized too is that sometimes the PigCake community drops things that are infinitely funnier than things that I could ever come up with, which makes me very upset. Makes me very angry. It makes me want to do things to people publicly. He's a cuck, says series of theories. We have Corn Pop that says, yes, I'm from Appalachia. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. Appalachian, I know how you say it, so Appalachia, I guess. That might be the way to say it. Meth has passed moonshine when it comes to getting messed up, or as they say, methed up.
Bing bong. Bing bong.
Actually, what's this? I know a lot about you, like why you're watching this ad, and it's specifically because you've looked up magic tricks. Well, hey there, my name's PigCake, and I've been doing magic trick tutorials on YouTube for the better part of 6 years. And I'm here to tell you about the PigCake Magic Academy with over 1,200 videos already uploaded, designed to make you an expert magician. You get access to all the content the moment you sign up, and I'm uploading every single week. As a matter of fact, I uploaded a video today. Just look at that list of moves, tricks, ideas that you're going to get access to the moment you sign up. It doesn't end. As a matter of fact, I could stop talking completely, and the list is still going to keep going. Just look. So check it out, the PigCake Magic Academy. The link is going to be below. I go with you, but I'm stuck in this video. But I'll wait for you to go ahead and click it. Go ahead, you know you want to. And that list is from like 8 months ago, right? So it's only gone up since then. Look at that, right? Drop an ad randomly. I could actually drop YouTube ads randomly on the stream. I could insert ad right now, and you guys get an ad that's like a weird... Let's actually see what ad you get. Let's actually do this and see what ad you randomly get if I press insert ad. I don't know if it showed up. I just pressed the button. I don't know if it actually showed up right now. Or if you have ad block, maybe on your phone, it showed up. I guess if you're watching the ad, you didn't see this. You're not seeing this part. But I want to know, what ad did you get? What ad did you get? If I press this weird insert ad button that YouTube just has oddly here for me to press randomly. Top Notch, I guess, doing a bit here where you've changed accounts, right? Tojo Hannes says, I hate it when people switch accounts. Shaking my head. Taxation is Theft, which is my favorite account of yours. You say, how's everybody doing today? I'm in Arizona right now, and let me tell you, Phoenix chicks are like Cali chicks, but you don't have to pretend to be rich to fuck them. You know, I guess that's probably the most accurate depiction of Phoenix bitches I've heard to date. California bitches are just absolutely atrocious. I feel like the ones that I know, right, there's certain ilk, certain type of attitude that goes well beyond their level of intelligence. I'm not saying that you have to, you know, necessarily. Yeah, I am. I'm actually saying that you have to somewhat have just a modicum of intelligence that you don't have based on your ego. So your ego is this high, but your actual intellect is over here. So you could have a disparity there. And yet you seem to make up for it with the loudness of your voice. Creepy Artistry says, every single stream, PigCake delivers high quality content dedicated to viewers like Brian Connor. Thank you for that, Creepy Artistry. Yes, that is true. Believe it or not. Was that Prince's girlfriend in the 80s? Appellation. Yeah, I guess I butchered that. Imagine me having a whole rant on how dumb bitches from California are not smart, right? Don't have the intellect. And then I butcher the pronunciation of a word. So that's great content right there. Just the sort of content that you can only find here. You're not going to find this on Chris Ramsey's live streams, okay? Michael Lawrence says, hungry and hungover. I guess let me see what hungry and hungover said. A Piggy, what are your thoughts on Follow the Leader? I recently learned Tamaris's version, and it's awesome. Depends. I feel like if you do it well enough, it could be a great trick because it's astonishing. I hate to be so virgin, but when you switch piles, right, it's very interesting. But it could very easily become an abortion if you do it incorrectly, because then it's just boring. Right, but if you present it right, that moment when you switch piles and the cards match, and you switch piles again and the cards still match, well, that is a tremendous little bit. I have a couple different variations, not to sound like a complete word that I can't say here, but you have to present it well. And Tamaris obviously presented extraordinarily well. I think he has the harmonica when he does it, and the cards still match. So he has that fun way of doing it. But if you do it well enough, then it's good. If you do it bad, shit. As with most Magic, but I think with that in particular. Just went to a Donald Trump fan store near world's famous Tombstone, Arizona, and 80% of the products were made in China. Yeah, I believe the hats that MAGA Joe Biden wears in the kitchen to scare off the would-be hoes is made in China. So that seems to be a common trait. I'm glad you're still doing magic and not making prank videos like some other magicians. What other magicians are making prank videos? Name names. I've seen a lot of them that are cringy, like Murray Sawchuck. This guy that does like the fake ones where he goes up to police and he's like, oh, here's my weed. Wait a second. And the cop goes, oh my God. And then immediately proceeds to fillet him. I've seen those videos, and those are atrocious. But I really haven't seen a lot of magician pranksters. Jabrizi, I guess, but he's always been doing that. I don't know what magicians you would be referring to, apart from all of them that have always been doing it. Haha, I got a Kings Group Games ad featuring State of Survival games. That's so gay. Oh, God. Can you imagine a worse ad to get than a fucking board game? One of these weird board games that people play. Oh, hey, let's hang out in a party. I do admit, there are some good party games. Werewolf is a good one. I forgot the whole name. But A Knight and Werewolf or something like that. That's a great party game, right? You get drinks, you get girls there, and it's a fun little game to play. But a lot of these board games that you have to, like there's certain, you have to know the lore of it. That's, I think, when we get to the limit, the fringe of my tolerance. I just don't like people having fun in a nerdy way. I think, does that come off watching these streams? I'm not a fan of nerds and fats. Red cards change places with black cards. It's a classic. Yeah, the trick is wonderful, right? Follow the leader. It's exactly what it sounds like. You have a red card. You have a black card. You have piles of red cards here. Or sorry, black, red, right? So the pile matches the leader card. And when you switch the piles, the cards still match the leader cards. And you could switch the leader cards and the cards still match. So everything is, when you deal the cards, everything still goes on. It's a very astonishing effect when done well. Very boring effect. I believe that you could do like an ace assembly that I've seen some magicians do where you want to literally stick a pen through your urethra. But I've also seen people do it where it's a very astonishing trick and something that lay people would also enjoy. But a lot of magicians do it in a way that makes you really want to consider murdering your parents. Julius Dean turned Ashton Kutcher at some point. Turned into Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, fucking Julius Dean. I mentioned it before. I had a very not fun interaction with Julius Dean telling me about a video that I made. And yes, I get it, right? Obviously, he's in a position where he has a whole team. He has a whole bunch of people making Facebook content. But he pointed out one of the videos. I've mentioned this before. Pointed out one of the videos that I made for Illusionist and said, yeah, this is bad. This is terrible because you need to, videos that are good for, this content are videos that you could watch without audio, right? I'm like, that's retarded because you're making content for people taking shits. You could just watch the video without the fucking audio on to understand it. No, I want the nuance and the joke to come through, you fuck. And then he goes, no, look at this video. Look at this video, right? And he shows me some hot chick that has a cut in her pants, and a magician comes in, like some guy comes in and he goes, whoa, and then starts rubbing her, which I'm like, all right, great. I got bitched at by people in the comment section because I made a gaslighting joke in a video, but homeboy's over here rubbing a random girl's thigh in this video according to the context of the video, and then fixing the hole in her jeans, and then the video repeats over and over again, right? And he's like, this is a great video because it has watchability. People can watch it over. I'm like, it's bathroom content. It's for people taking shits. Like, it's for mindless dribble. It's not really anything that's interesting or thoughtful. And I remember just having that interaction with him. Again, just him telling me, oh, this is bad. I'm like, has little Harry Potter glasses. And the way he approached was also kind of like full of shit. I'm like, first of all, I'm drunk, right? You're talking to me. I'm drunk. Obviously, I've been drinking for 2 weeks straight in England. So, and then secondly, you come at me with an attitude. The only person that had an attitude in the entirety of the time that I was in England was fucking Julius Dean. And I'll never forget that. That was very fucking just, God. Really, first of all, I don't think a lot of magicians would go, wow, my favorite magician is Julius Dean. Right? I don't think anybody would say that. But just the arrogance. Jesus. Gross. I'm going to be fucking pissed if Spotify removes Kanye West music from their platform. I've been bumping Kanye since he let Taylor Swift finish. That's, usually I think that's too deep of a reference. That's like an old bit, I think. That bit has passed its tolerance. When did that happen? 2014? Yeah, I'm going to let you finish. That whole bit that every single talk show, fucking Jimmy Kimmel, right? Whatever the other guy is, who's the one that laughs all the time when nobody's telling a joke? He used to be funny in Weekend Update, but then somehow the Hollywood hive mind drinking adrenochrome elites got to him, and now he laughs at everything. It was funny in SNL. What's his name? They replaced the Twister ride for his dumb ride. I keep describing everything about him, but not his name because I forgot what his name is. Hungry and Hungover says, you should have seen Kanye West on the PigCast. He's been blacklisted from pretty much everywhere else. Well, I don't think that this would probably be the best. Although, here's the thing. I did want to get an interview. If you guys have been watching Jimmy Fallon. There you go, Jimmy Fallon. I've been doing videos on PigCake Plus and on Twitch, and one person that I've been talking about a lot is Darkside Phil. Darkside Phil recently put a request out that he wants to get interviewed, right, by someone. And I imagine using at least, I know this channel doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but it does have enough where if I send an email, I do have an ounce of credibility, believe it or not, unfortunately. I hate that that's a thing, but that's a thing. And I wanted to interview Darkside Phil. I sent him a shit. I was drafting up an email, and then he came up with another video saying, oh, these are the qualifications, essentially, that I want to have for somebody interviewing me. They can't be somebody that's made any sort of bad video about me. It has to be someone that's has more subscribers than I do. I'm like, you fucking loser. So I really want to ask this guy about all the dumb shit that he's been accused of, which, by the way, he says you can't ask him. So what's the point of the interview? If you don't know about Darkside Phil, don't bother. If you do, and you know about the videos that I've made, I think it would have been a great thing to interview this fucking loser on the channel, but unfortunately, definitely not going to work out. And I was drafting the email. Bill Malone is married. True, yeah. So Bill Malone could be married. Although to be honest, I would throw it back on Bill Malone. Right, just the humor alone makes his little Jerry curls attractive to me. Fallon, it was definitely Fallon. Although James Corbin is another one that's just a full-on. He's a person. He's a walking. I've said too many abortion jokes today. I don't know why I'm hooked on abortion jokes, but he's a walking one of those, right? He's a walking one of those. So it's not really, and I'm glad the English people don't like him. Dr. Moggs says, she's right. That's what I said to my previous girlfriend. That's what I said to my current girlfriend, and that's what I said to my next girlfriend. I guess you're referring to the shoddy that I showed earlier that said, oh yeah, we had to figure out how to fix our marriage after I cheated on my husband early in our marriage. Early in our marriage. Could you imagine early in the honeymoon phase of your marriage cheating on your significant other? Are you having a laugh? Sorry, here. Let me go through these comments. I know a lot came in through while I was distracted. Are there any good magic tricks with juggling other than one you hid the ball while juggling? Not sure. I'm sure you could probably do some where you throw the ball behind your back and it changes color when you catch it. I'm sure that's something you could do fairly easily if you are a juggler. Top Notch says 2008, Lamau, or 2009. I was 10. Jesus. Time has really fucking gone by way too quickly if that was in 2008. I was 18. I was, could you imagine the magic guy in high school? I'm the one that, hey, yeah, he does magic tricks. That's a great thing to be known at in your high school as the magic guy. Ugh. Fucking. I'm glad you guys don't hear it, by the way, on this microphone. But I hear what is bachata music playing louder than it should be. Coming from right here. And I imagine the Cubans are probably digging up the fucking pig that they buried in a, whatever the fuck they call it. Gaha, I forgot what it's called when they bury a thing in the dirt. Like it's fucking matanzas. And they bring the pig up. Again, I'm living in a third world country. Top Notch says, I need to fucking zoom in on this. This is how blind I am that I need to zoom in on this because I cannot read it. My goodness. Top Notch says, you ever think you're really into psychedelics and then you snort 40 milligrams of 5-MeO-DMT and immediately realize you're not actually about that as your self melts into the body you once thought was you? Now, you said you were clean. Now, some people, I've been told, play around with the definition of I haven't taken anything, right? So they'll be like, yeah, dude, I haven't taken meth, but I have been smoking a lot of crack. So they usually jump to another thing. So I don't know if you're like clean per se, like you're trying to avoid things, or if you're just substituting them. So I don't know which one is the case, Top Notch. But if you're saying that, I imagine you're probably substituting, which if you do the right thing, that's probably fine, right? But you just don't want to like, oh yeah, dude, nah, I got tired of Oxy, so right now I'm on this new thing called fentanyl. It's fun. So as long as you don't go there. James Corden, You guys need to keep him in the U.S. I believe, yeah. So people where he's from, I don't know where he's from, if Wales or whatever the fuck. But he's a gross guy, just disgusting, fake. And what I love is the same thing as Ellen. And it's, I'm sorry, the gayest news, right? Where you hear celebrity gossip and you hear all this gossip about a person. But it's great when people that work for him out things that he said and does in the back. Same thing with Ellen, that they thought that they were like this funny person. They did the car karaoke and oh my God, he's so funny and charming. And then you find out how they really are and you're like, wow, you're an asshole. You deserve death. I love that. That's the one thing I love when it comes out about these Hollywood types. Fallon's got that David Blaine facial hair right now. My my wetback came out there a little bit if you noticed. I said facial. I didn't say facial. I said facial. Like I'm just someone that just came here for the first time on the back of a refrigerator. I can't believe that thing was that far away. To be clear, I've been clean of everything except nicotine since September 29th. Fire. My friend, almost a month there. But that's the other one, right? You still have that nicotine. You still have that vape. The hitting the nick, as the kids say. Yo, hit me with that bar. I'm glad that I'm no longer teaching anything in terms of school or well, really, I guess this is the only thing I'm teaching, magic tricks online. But I'm glad I'm not involved in actual education because now technology's gotten to the point where it's just absurd, right? You could hide a watch this big with all the answers to anything you want and you won't be caught unless you're an idiot. You could go to the bathroom and just hit the vape that you hid in your shoe because we're not allowed to touch you and you don't have any residue on you. You don't smell like pot. You don't smell like anything, but you come back to class high as fuck on legal Delta 9, right? It's too easy. It's too easy now. Do the gritty. That shows my whiteness. Let me give myself that. Hit the gritty? Gertie? I should never talk again. But it's too easy. It's too easy to do any form of drug now and not get away with it, or get away with it. Fuck. Tobacco has its claws in me. I guess, right? Cigarettes is something that people I've mentioned or people I've talked to tell me it's very hard to shake. I've gotten into cigars in the past couple of years, and I think there's a lot more benefits to the downsides of cigars. I don't think there's a lot of long-term death statistics about oral cancers and lung cancers when it comes to cigars. It does happen, but it's not as prevalent as you would think it would be. But cigarette deaths are obviously very high on the list of lung-related illnesses. So not a fan of cigarettes. Way bigger fan of cigars though. And you do get that nick hit. I don't think it's as prevalent. I've only smoked about 8 cigarettes in my entire life. They were Depression cigarettes from a music festival where the headliner was canceled. I've mentioned this before. First time I smoked it about a year and a half ago. Not fun. I don't understand what the hype is, right? And people say, no, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. Whereas the first time I smoked a cigar, I'm like, this is great. I'm enjoying this. I taste the stuff. I could taste the nuance. There's little things, little bits, and I'm getting a little bit of a buzz, right? I'm getting a little bit of that nicotine buzz. Whereas for cigarettes, people say, no, you have to smoke like 3 packs and then you like them. Like, yeah, let me just get fucked in the ass 47 times before I like it. What? Come on. Be better.
Be better. Be better.
Be better. Top Notch says, to be clear, just to be double clear, I quit opiates about 10 months and I still can't quit nicotine. It's hard because it's not as urgent intuitively as everything else. I'll never sniff a perk again, but I still vape. There you go. That's still fire. That's still good shit, right? Especially to be clean off something that just digs into you as hard as opiates. My goodness. And that's what we're giving children. Could you imagine, right, the psychiatry issue we have now where we're essentially giving children speed? Their little brains are not developed in their heads, but parents are like, yeah, give them an Adderall. I give my 13-year-old an Adderall. I give him Ritalin. Jesus, that's a fucked lifestyle. At such a young age, your brain is not done developing until 25. But at 13, we're just going to hit it with a cocktail of stuff because you get distracted easily at 13. At 13, you got things coming out of your body that you don't understand. You're just shooting loads of repressed cum. And yet you're going to give that body a concoction of dumb, like opiates, essentially speed. Dumb. It's really stupid. I remember actually seeing that, funnily enough, now that I'm thinking about it, seeing these kids that they change from one summer to another. And you wonder, oh, is that the hormonal changes you get in puberty? Is that things that are happening in their life and their parents maybe having arguments and stuff? And no, these kids have to, you get their list of accommodations, you get their list of things that are pertinent that you need to be aware of. And certain kids have to tell you, oh, by the way, I could go to the bathroom anytime I want. They take advantage of it, by the way. They take advantage, the kids that I dealt with, about the accommodations that we have to give them as a school. And it's funny because you see the laundry list of things that they're given. And then it's like Adderall. They're given pretty much all the things that people buy for festivals. But they're giving them to these kids at essentially as sixth graders. So I'm like, what? And then the kids come back from summer completely changed because they've been taking these medications for 3 months. It's like, yeah, obviously they're going to come back changed. So it took me a while to figure that, but I was given the lists of shit, and that's part of it. It's usually tied together with like ADD, which is hysterical. Hungry and Hungover says cigarettes give you an incredible head rush for the first pack or two. Then it goes away and never comes back, and you smell like a magician convention. I did realize that. I was outside the convention in Ohio, like this, right? I was having a cigar in Ohio, which is just everybody there smoking just Marlboros and meth, and I'm the only person having a cigar, and I'm just shaking, right? Eric Leclerc was there, and this was before he stopped smoking, and he's just there ripping through cigarettes, or, well, I can't say what the people overseas call them, even though it's a term they use for cigarettes. Why can't I say it here, huh? Freedom of speech. But, and he's just there without a jacket. He gave me his jacket because I was shaking for the cold. And he's like, yeah, I live in Canada. It's fine. This is the summer for me. And he's just there ripping through cigarettes. Darts is what they call them. Darts is what they call them, which is a very non-offensive term. But overseas, it's a more offensive term. I'd sniff perks with Future. That's great. What did Corn Pop say? Somebody gave him a lol. I've been doing heroin for over a decade now. It really isn't that bad. I only do $40 a day. I'm not joking, says Corn Pop. That's on the low end of addiction, from my understanding. $40 a day is pretty rough. I've heard people $200 a day on it. You can get a lot for, I believe, very little. Corn Pop, I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking. That's something that's not fun. And you see it, right? You see it, and the degradation, and it's unfortunate. Top Notch says, I'm going to go 3 years sober from anything that's not nicotine before I make a decision on whether or not I can responsibly do anything else. Sucks because I know the answer will be no, but I love drinking and weed and acid and shrooms and Molly and Coke. So pretty much you named everything in a Miami bathroom. You've named everything in a Miami bathroom. And it's funny, the other thing that I guess was at the festival, I was talking to my cop buddy and, asking him like, hey, bro, you must be swimming through the pussy. I don't understand how you could be standing here and not in the bathroom getting your soul sucked out of your panacea. And within 3 seconds of finishing that conversation, I go to, walk to whatever tent or whatever place we're going to. I'm like, hey, you want weed? I got weed. I got weed cigarettes, man. And there's a cop right there. Like, you don't give a fraction of a fuck. Here's a misdemeanor now. So it's a slap on the wrist, essentially, if you get caught with any of that. And it's obvious that the attendees don't give a fraction of a fuck. But I just found that really funny because this guy was screaming, I'm a narc. I'm a narc. Danny was telling me the other day, he was on the beach, and some guy from across the street was soliciting coke. I don't know how. That's a thing, but hey, you guys want coke? You guys want coke? That's how he told me a story went. I'm inclined to believe him. So people are brazen when it comes to that. So Top Notch, you've essentially named a Miami bathroom. A lot of heavy smokers I've worked with passed away pretty recently. It's sad. Well, you're inhaling all that gunk and the additives, whereas obviously you can make the argument that cigars, you can't say cigars are healthy, right? You can't. But with cigarettes, and I didn't realize this until I rolled my own cigar, and I tried to roll a little cigarillo, right? And I got the tobacco, the shredded tobacco, and I rolled it in there, and I smoked it in like a puff. It took, 10 seconds, and I realized, oh, they add additives and they add stuff to prolong the cigarette. So you're not just getting tobacco in there. You're getting a mix of shit that's designed to get the cigarette. And this is obvious to anybody, but it was news to me. that is just a bunch of shit designed to prolong the cigarette and to make it so that you don't just smoke it through in one puff. Whereas if you just get pure tobacco and you put it in there, you get the filter, you're just going to get 2 puffs out of it. So imagine all the shit they have to add to that in order for you not to just smoke it in one puff. It's gross. Whereas a cigar, it's 2 ingredients. You got fruit pectin that glues it together, and then you got the tobacco leaf, right? And you can get the different parts of the tobacco leaf, so you could argue about it, whatever. But I'm not going to stop smoking cigars. Not going to stop smoking cigars. But cigarettes, I would argue, definitely infinitely worse. Let's see. Let's go through here. Sorry, I'm here trying to go through. I guess let's show one more video, and then we'll go through all the comments that I skipped. This one is another example of the comments section being absolutely clinically retarded. This is something that I saw again on TikTok. I'm kind of showing you guys the refuse, right? The muck. And here's one video of a movie theater. I guess they're watching. I have to mute this because it's a fucking track. But they're watching some Spider-Man movie. I think the more recent one. And it's a bunch of dudes recording and losing their minds when the 3 Spider-Men come together. And all the comments are like, man, memories. Man, whoa, dude. I love this. I would consider violence at this point if this was taking place in my movie theater. I would consider taking out my revenge on a group of innocent people if this was the movie theater that I was in watching this fucking movie. Where I paid, by the way, movie tickets now are not, they're $18 plus fees for a movie to sit down in a fucking movie. Not to sound like an old man, but back in my day, it was like $7 on a Saturday night. $18 to watch a fucking movie, to sit there on somebody's cum and watch a fucking movie in a shitty screen. Yeah, great. So let's smoothly transition. Not a bunch of fuckery. Look at this shite bag. Let me see. Actually, no, this might be yeah, unfortunately. But you see that there's people there. You could actually barely see it. They're in a movie theater losing their minds with phones out. Are you having a fucking laugh? With the flash on. With the flash on. They're in the movie theater. Just screaming, dancing, loud. Right? Look at this. Let me see if I can actually play this. You can hear them in the background. I'd consider some sort of mass event if this is a movie theater that I was in. Obviously, I wouldn't because I'd probably get demolished. No, I would definitely get demolished. But what? And the comments, best era, best day of my life. I'm telling my grandkids this. Obviously, this hyperbole. Who says that? Not hyperbole. I'm not hyperbole. I'm serious. A little bit there. But most of the comments, this is when my inner child just healed. I can't believe it's been 1 year. Right? People talking about that. Bro, after the pandemic, this is all we needed. Bro, this is peak 2021. All our childhood dreams came back to life. And nobody here, maybe one comment is talking about, yo, you guys aren't going to mention the fact that these guys are in a movie theater? We live in a society. George Costanza said it best in 1998. Sorry, 1996. I'm going to guess that episode came out. I'm not going to guess. I know. It came out in 1996. It's crazy how it's almost been a year. Literally teared up. I hope November 11th is this way. Right? Nobody's talking about the fucking movie theater. This terrible fucking violation of unwritten societal rules. Actually, written societal rules. Where they say, hey, don't fucking cause a scene in a movie theater. Not a great movie, but man, what an experience the way it affected everybody. What? Affected, by the way, with a fucking E. The way it affected everything. Jesus. What else here? I haven't seen one comment yet that's talking about the actual movie theater fiasco. I was working at Regal around that time. Worst time ever, but the movie won my heart. Yeah, worst time ever because people don't know how to act in a fucking society. My goodness. We were at this movie together a year ago. None of these comments. I actually haven't seen one. I saw one on my phone, which lets me know that you see different ones depending on what account you're in. But nobody's mentioned anything as to, yo, you guys aren't serious, right? Not one person here. Literally teared up. Okay, not one person. See, still baffles me. People had these reactions, but switch up months later saying it's mid. That's your take? Not this. Not that these dudes are out here literally causing a fucking scandal in a movie theater. If I would have paid $18, I would have definitely charged a credit card. I would have been like, nope, I want a refund. I want a refund. Get the fuck out of here. What? Yeah, why are you asking for a refund? Because they threw down in a movie theater and I couldn't watch a movie theater because there were people recording themselves. That's when all our inner child just healed. Let's see if some of these comments... no, obviously none of these comments are going to mention anything regarding that. God, come on, be better. Be better. There's no way to sort these. And go back here.
Be better. Be better. Be better.
What? Be better. Are you serious? This is normal behavior in a movie theater? Right? How? How is that a thing? How is that a thing? And not one comment at least there. Maybe when I was looking through my phone, I saw a couple of them. But god damn. You can't be serious that that's actually defended. And then you realize, yeah, the majority of the audience commenting on that are children, are kids that are like, yo, that's epic, man. Epic. L. No, sorry, W. That's how you know I'm a fucking boomer. Wait, is it this one? Common L. Common L. These are the same retards who like She-Hulk and Rings of Power. Facts. Did I have a video on She-Hulk? No, I had a video, some Marvel video, I think, on PigCake Plus recently. Corn Pop, have you tried Suboxone? I didn't use it, but I know many people that have worked enough to keep them off. Look at this, some real stuff we got in the chat here. $18 and 30 minutes of ads and trailers. Yeah, that's the other part. That people want to come early to the movie theater to just sit around and watch ads. They get advertised to. I'm paying $18. $18 should go into something like, I don't know, the popcorn that has a 700% upcharge. But no, you're not getting any of that. Being sober is going to be good for me now because I won't be at parties and shit. I'll be associating with better people, so to speak. I couldn't quit until I had the support of loved ones. Yeah, shit's getting real in the chat here, but definitely good facts. Hope you could quit too. I stopped cold turkey at the end of last month, and I'm now just starting to begin to feel normal. Obviously, you have to go through the process of withdrawal, which is never fun. Imagine the shitty withdrawal, how shitty you feel when you stop having caffeine and then, like, you don't have your cup of coffee, your morning cup of coffee. Those are shitty withdrawals. You get headaches, migraines, whatever. That's still withdrawals, but that's like this much compared to cutting these harder things. It's kind of nuts, but I've talked to enough people where it's interesting to see the level and the spectrum of it. I just heard a bunch of people next door wooing. I imagine they pulled a pig from the dirt in the ground. Go through here. Sorry. A lot of addiction in the USA could be attributed to the slackers. They got sway with it. The biggest fuck up. Oh, the Sacklers. It's a powerful family. Okay, I'm glad. I didn't know if that was a term. Corn Pop says, I'm proud of you. Top notch. Quitting opiates sucks. People don't do it. I just know how sick you get. Right? Yeah. Again, very easy for me to go, just quit. Just quit. Come on. But then the sickness. Fuck. Pop, I've heard a singular difficulty of quitting H and cigs. That's why I tried it once. If you're trying to get off, I wish you luck because I know Nick is horrible though. Right? And they're all designed essentially to keep you wrapped in the hooks. So it's never anything that's easy to get off by design. I want to quit, but I know 2 weeks of pure hell isn't going to be fun at all. I'm not looking forward to be bedridden for a fortnight. Let's see. Speaking of mass events. Speaking of mass events in a theater, remember when that guy dressed up as a Joker and shot up a screening of Batman? Yes. Every time I sit down anywhere, I'm always aware. First of all, I'm always aware of everything, right? I'm always aware of everything in every single place, in every conversation. I'm always on top of everything, okay? Just by very nature of being me. But I'm also more aware of the exits, of the places that I could escape, right? Of things that I could do. I'm always thinking, all right, so the movie theater's here. I look at the exits. What would I do? What would I do? And then you have somebody overseas go, oh, look at that, man. Look at that American. Look at the American. All right. I've seen several videos of your new prime minister, all right, dancing around. So you really can't talk shit about us when that guy's the person running your country. Okay, buddies? But I'm always aware at a restaurant. I like to make sure that I got a clear avenue. The other day, as a matter of fact, here, there was a weird guy that pulled up into the driveway, and I'm like, well, all right, let me see what I'm going to do here. There's a fence over there that I'm definitely going to jump over, and I'm going to see if I could get to the street. Yesterday, a couple days ago, I kept waking up and taking a piss. right? Waking up and taking a piss. And every time I do that, I check the door and make sure that it's locked, right? I check the little thing, make sure it's locked. Go to piss, check the door, go to sleep. Wake up, go to piss, check the door, go to sleep. Well, one time I went to piss and then I checked the door and it was open. The door was open, right? So I go to lock it. And the moment that I lock it, a hand sticks out from the gap that they now created from opening the door with a knife and says, give me all your shit. And then I wake up because it was a fucking dream. But how shitty is your brain that it figured out my pattern? It figured out the same pattern that I was doing of waking up, taking a piss, and checking it, and then said, I'm going to fuck with you. I'm going to fuck with you by showing you the very thing that you fear. The reason why you're checking the door, that's what I'm going to present to you. And put the exact same scenario where I wake up, take a piss. I'm like, all right, this is normal stuff. And then that happens to me. Turns out to be a fucking dream. The brain is a terrible thing. But I'm always aware of things. I'm always aware of exit plans. And I want to be on top of that. If somebody sneaks into the bar or does something, I'm jumping out. I'm getting out of there. All right. I want to be the guy in the news later. I don't want to be, PigCake was he was just a free spirit. I don't want to be on an interview. I want to be interviewed later on. So I don't want people talking about me. I want to be interviewed. Let's go through here. Heat Shield says, Pop, if you're serious, I'm so sorry. My buddy from work fell into it. There are ways out. You're here on PigCake, so you're obviously smart. You'll figure it out. Facts. Right? Facts. I think if you're here, you have at least a modicum of goodness to you. Top notch. I took suboxydone for a few years, but I had to quit. It's hard to explain, but it was making my brain twitch and my heart would stop for a few beats. Stevie Wonderbrooks comes in after that great chime in and says, just got back from the gym. I didn't want to do it either, man, but a couple weeks versus the rest of your life. If you're like me, you will not be able to do it without people who actually care about supporting you. Says Top Notch, which is facts. I do believe that you need a strong support system around you. I was mentioning to a friend the other day, I know that I can't compare, but we're talking about bitches, as we do, right? Talking about the bitches. And I'm like, yo, man, the last relationship it was quite a long time that I was with this particular person. And, you make the assumption that you're going to be with this person. In your case, the assumption that you could be with this particular drug for as long. But I told him at the end of the day, the person, that I relied on through that particular part of my life was my friends. My friends had my back. Not that bitch that I thought that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Right? Same shit. So I guess you definitely do need a support system. That's very important. Ducks, for example, if you get one duck, you can't because that duck's going to probably end up dying. So you need to get two ducks because that duck needs a support system in the form of the other duck. Same thing with us, which is why I like ducks. Let's see here. Mouth breathing causes so many modern problems: lung disease, viral transmission, sleep apnea, ADHD, and street magic. Look at that. It's like that seems like something that would be. I found out recently about the service called Prep Burger, right? I mentioned this maybe in a live stream a while ago, but it's services. The main one is called Prep Burger, where if you're a radio station, or broadcasting station, and they still have these, which blows my mind, but you pay for the service. And then they come up with jokes for you based on current events. So all you have to do is just pay for the service, print out the jokes, and then just tell the jokes, right? Which is why a lot of these radio stations sound the same because they're all technically doing the same shit. And I believe the news is the same way where they all just get the same fucking press release. They read it, which is why they sound like fucking mindless zombies. But that's what that reminds me of. It reminds me of one of those like Prep Burger written jokes that you say. Like, oh, you have a podcast for magic? I got one. Mouth breathing causes many modern problems: lung disease, viral transmission, sleep apnea, ADHD, and street magic. That deserved 3. That's rare. 3 car crashes is very rare. Let's see. Top Notch back with some advice here. Says also a big part of people in opiate withdrawal are almost exclusively malnourished to an extent that they're very dehydrated. I drank a gallon of water a day and it made the process easier. Not easy, easier. I think that fits a lot of things. Water fixes a lot of things, right? You assume, oh, you got headaches all the time. You're complaining about your indigestion. You have a hard time taking dumps. You have a hard time with energy, right, throughout the day. And then, oh, what are you eating throughout the day? Oh, I'm eating well. I'm eating all these things. I'm eating, leafy greens. I'm making sure to count my calories and do all my protein intake. All right, what are you drinking? Well, I wake up and I have coffee, right? And then I go to work and I get like a Celsius. And then maybe in the afternoon I have like a Diet Coke. And then at night I'll get like like a bottle of wine to unwind. And you go, oh, great. Yeah, so you're a prune. Your body's essentially starved of the liquid that's essentially comprised the entirety of your body. You're not giving it the water it needs. So yeah, good tip there. Top notch out here, killing it. Especially with the opiate stuff, which is definitely not easy. And it's definitely not easy for me to say, or it's easy for me to say, but good that somebody with that particular, I don't want to say expertise, because that's also not a good thing to be an expert of, but somebody who's dealt with it is giving you a good tips here. Top notch. I don't really have anyone who loves me in life. That's a problem. Nobody's going to be there for me. Pigs, not even a 700% upcharge for popcorn, more like 700 times. No way 30 cents of kernels cost $14. That's the other part, right? That's the other shady part. They do that. I think, what is it? A greeting carts is the other one that has a massive upcharge. But movie theater popcorn, obviously, is not going to charge. Is not going to charge. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Heat Shield. You're definitely right. I was thinking that what I was saying was hyperbolic, but it wasn't hyperbolic enough. What Piggy calls a fence is actually a row of stone bricks for the garden path. You know what? You're going to get the pin of shame, Stevie Wonderbrooks. All right, you and your secret Reddit account that I look through what you've been posting. And I find it funny that the Magic subreddit is like, no, this is spam, dude. Why are you out here self-promoting? And your arguments, assuming that is you. I had a good time reading through that. That's why I keep telling you to fight instead of exercising. You can exercise in a way that you learn how to fight. And I know some good gyms where you can learn HEMA or Kali. The problem is that that's also fairly expensive, especially here in Miami, where an average drink, this same thing in a bar would cost you probably $13, right? So imagine martial arts training is very expensive. So I rather, if I could turn the camera, I don't know if I'm obviously not going to go up there, but you'll see a lot of weights here, right? You'll see some plates, some kettlebells, you see a dumbbell, there's elastics. So I rather have it here and be a cheapo depot than partake in a martial arts gym and pay probably $300 a month. I have no idea what your situation is, but with some form of community, you'll feel like you belong. You're not hopeful. I'm projecting, obviously, but that's important to find. It's a shame you can't really feel safe anywhere anymore. It wasn't this bad when we were kids. Well, there were still creepers and things, and I imagine that my parents were neurotic for a reason, right? So I'm sure they had enough events in their life that they then passed down to me. I didn't use an oven for the majority of my life because I connected the use of an oven with fires, because it happened once to my mom, and she trained us from an early age that if you turn on the oven, it's going to lead to a fire. So when I got my first apartment, my significant other was going to turn on the oven, and I go, no, don't do that. It's going to blow up. It's going to cause a fire. She goes, no, it won't. What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, it's going to cause a fire if you leave it there and leave it on for too much. And I had to be explained that no, ovens don't do that. As I forgot how old I was then, but interestingly enough, right? So, yeah, I imagine that those parents had enough incidents happen to them where they pass it on to us, this generation. And then now through social media, it's not going to help out because there was a shooting, mass shooting here, I think maybe 2 days ago, right? Look at what I started stream talking about, the Waukesha guy. And how not the Waukesha guy, sorry, I apologize, the SUV that attacked that group of people. So look at that, right? We have SUVs that are going rogue and running into groups of people. That's what we have to deal with. So it's more prevalent now and you see more of it. But I imagine that things were also pretty bad back then. It's just that you didn't hear about it because information was not as readily available. But you're right. I still dream about that bitch I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. She's up now, but I'm up too compared to where I was a couple months ago. Progression is good. Progressiveness is debatable, right? If that's good or not. But progression is definitely good. I do recall you sending me some pictures before of one of those old shotties that you used to be with, right? And she had the classic, I'm vaguely remembering this, but she had the classic shoddy pose, right? I don't know if you're familiar with the shoddy pose as a PigCake community, this being, mostly magicians, but it's when a girl takes a picture and she gives the illusion of an ass by propping it up to a sink, right? So she'll take a picture in the bathroom obviously her parents' house. And, she's kind of giving herself the illusion of having an ass by propping up the leg on the sink. So you go, damn, she's thick. So I figure that I remember that. That's a vague memory I have, top notch, based on one of the shotties you showed me. I don't know if that's a shotty you're referring to. But yeah, it happens, right? It happens. And you have that backdrop of even your friends, even friends that aren't necessarily super good friends. You still have that backdrop of them to be able to, get you out of that mental rut where you're like, no, man, I love her, man. It's beautiful. And then you look back at pictures and you go, wow, what was I thinking? Prunes and raisins have boron, which raises your free testosterone, says Stevie Wonderbrooks, which is very funny considering you just came from the gym. So I feel like you're full and pumped from testosterone. So it's good that you're bringing that back in there. Let's see. That's prep burger. Could come in handy. I know a few unfunny friends I could keep telling to hire ghostwriters. That's hysterical. That's hysterical. Yes, that's what you need. You need a prep burger service for unfunny friends. That'd actually probably be a good startup. Oh, I noticed here in Miami there's been an influx of startup companies as of late that are pretty fucking dumb, right? So they'll have an idea like that and they'll pitch it and somebody will invest a fucking $2 million in a stupid thing like that. And then they'll have 20 employees and you ask these dumb bitches, in certain bars, oh, what do you do? And they go, oh, I work for the startup. Oh, what's the startup do? Well, we actually provide jokes for people that are unfunny. So what tends to happen is that people that are not funny and they hire us, the friends, so that we send them jokes so that then they could, expand their social circle by being funnier. But we're actually the ones coming up with the jokes. And we're valued at $5 million. And there's 20 of us that work. And I do social media and consultation. They all do consultation. And they're getting paid like, I don't know, 60 grand a year for that. Like, how? For what? I have a friend. I'm always curious as to what he does and how he makes money in this sort of line, dealing with corporate America. And you find out all these bitches are just consultants. What do you... How... Chris Hannawell drops 2 ice. I don't know where that comes from. But sup, dog? You're out there in the hot Atlanta, right? Or actually, no, I know you're in Georgia. I don't know if you're in Atlanta. The fact that if you are in Atlanta and you've made it this long, I commend you, right? That deserves some level of respect for you to have made it all this time while living concurrently in Atlanta with the Atlanta vibes. You know what I'm saying? Right? Here in Miami, yeah, there are certain sections that you don't go into. I figure it's the opposite in Atlanta, where Atlanta is the entirety of it is you don't want to be out with you don't want to be out. I was gonna say you don't want to be out with money, but no, you don't want to be out. I'm in Columbus now. Or you're in Columbus. That doesn't make it better, man. That doesn't make it better. I still recall the 2 times I went to Columbus, Ohio, and it's rough, man. It was rough. The plane ride over there, because I chose to go direct, which was a mistake. And there's only one plane, and it's the size of this coffee table that goes to Columbus, Ohio. And when is Magi Fest? It's in February, right? I don't know, maybe. I know my boy PDT is going there, so that'd be interesting to catch up and hang out with him. But damn, son, you went from Atlanta. That's actually a downgrade. I'm sorry to say. I know that I was shooting on Atlanta really aggressively, but I would say if there's a place that you would move to that's a downgrade, it would be Columbus, Ohio. I remember going to a not a Waffle House, going to, what's that burger? Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. I went to a White Castle, and it was, I think, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I found the blackest pubic hair in my food, just the blackest pubic hair, and I was so drunk and so hungry that I ate the thing that I had. I still ate it. Like, I'm aware of the person that made my food, and I'm aware of the possibility that it was their pubic hair. And I said, I'm like, oh, there's a pube on it. And I kept eating it. That was my experience of Columbus, Ohio as a whole. My grandmother's first job was at Cedar Point. Columbus is good at exporting people. Lamau. January boy. White Castle wrecks my butthole. Facts. Yes. I remember having an incident with that particular combination of food and liquor in my stomach. I imagine Penguin is from up there, right? Penguin is up there in Columbus, from my understanding. pubes are like spice out here. God damn it. Yeah, I figure that they're trying to add some more flavoring to the food by incorporating the use of, I believe this is a black man's pubic hair. I don't know if a black man's pubic hair tastes a little bit different than a white boy's pubic hair, but it was definitely stronger. It was very thick. Black's black pubic hair. There you go. I don't know if that was accurate. Coffee table size planes are all I fly. Nothing better than being able to land in a field when shit hits the fan. Well, the problem with that plane is that I felt uncomfortable because it was short even for me. I'm a short man. And the fact that I had to duck, right? And the plane, I believe the entire time there was absolutely no control on the plane whatsoever. And fucking the landing was also quite atrocious. I don't know if it was somebody learning. They go, oh, yeah, we're going to go through your training on this plane from Miami to Ohio in case this fucking crashes. But I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to go to Magi Fest. It doesn't really tickle my fancy because it's Columbus, right? Maybe if it's like Vegas, that might be fun, even though it's fucking expensive. I wanted to go to the other one. And I realize now in hindsight I could have gone and possibly had a lot of fees cut. But I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's still quite a bit away from January. I said that about October, by the way. Oh, we're quite a bit away, and it's the end of October. It's almost fucking Halloween. It's almost a shoddy season where they come out dressed as what's going to be the main costume this year of all the shoddies. Let me Google that. Popular. I was going to Google popular shoddy costumes. Popular costumes 2022. Let's see what all the shoddies are going to be dressed as. Probably some version of fucking House of whatever, Game of Thrones, right? That might be one. Oh, let's see. I see some of this Disney movie. I see some Spider-Man, some Marvel shit. Yeah, this is a terrible list. None of these are accurate. I remember the year of Squid Games. That was a very popular one, right? I don't see that being a thing now. I see some Stranger Things costumes. Ugh, my goodness. Let's see how they hoe them up. Let's find out how they hoe them up. How does Obama's pubic hair taste? I was going to say probably like Michelle's cum. You get it? You get it? You get it?
Be better. Be better. Be better. Be better.
But then I realized females come as well. Jeffrey Dahmer is going to be another one. Yeah, you're right. I completely ignored that. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a scenario where people are idolizing and probably going to be dressed as Jeffrey Dahmer? Right? Slutty Dahmer. Like, you killed and ate people, dude. Like, there was some weird shit you did, and now you're dressing up as this person. If you dress up like Dahmer, you're a douchebag. Yeah, but it's not. I think it's gone past the time of, what do you call that? When it's jurisdiction, right? The point of whatever the fuck. Whenever you commit a crime. I'm sure there's a term. I forgot what the fucking term is. When you come, statute of limitation, where people don't care. It's not like a big event. Yeah, it doesn't matter if he murdered and ate people and killed them in a terrible fashion. It's gone to the point where now it's fashionable, which is kind of funny. It shows you how bad we are as humans and how much we deserve COVID. How much we deserve COVID. Let's go through here. Went to Whataburger for the first time yesterday. They took forever and fucked my order. My food was mid, right? Dropping some Zoomer terms. I'm sorry, y'all. Lexi at the window was a cutie, but not a baddie, so I won't be coming back. I recall an instance in McDonald's. I think this was like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, and I went with my friend. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, right? But this is a funny bit. And the girl says, hey, you know, what do you guys want? It's going to be 2 separate orders. He's going to have whatever. I'm going to have this. And then she goes, all right, give me a second. And then we start talking. We're like, damn, she kind of has a hot voice. You think she's fuckable? Do you think that she's going to be like attractive? I don't know, because I've had like hot girls, or I've seen fat girls that have really hot voices, right? Like all the phone sex operators tend to be fat chicks. That's kind of the bit. So we're having this whole conversation. Like, oh, do you think? And I said some vulgar shit. I'm sure I incorporated the use of semen at some point. And then she goes, you guys can come up, right? So we go up to the window. And when we go to the window, the first thing she goes is, I could hear everything, right? We're like, oh, all right, my bad, man. My bad, dude. What can you say? What can you say at that point? The fuck? We could hear everything. Yeah, all right, I'm sorry. You invaded our conversation about how you look like. And by the way, not good at all. Not good at all. It was a car wreck. It was a car wreck. Statute of limitations. There you go. Statute. I probably said statue of limitation because of my Ave. But I should have said statute. I won costume contest in 2019 as 6'9" and won $100. It was a crazy night too. Shit was a movie, as the kids would say, right? The kids say that, and then they end up doing one of these. Oh, yesterday was a movie, man. It was crazy. You should have seen it. You should have been there, man. You missed out. FOMO, fear of missing out. And then you zoom out like it's Grand Theft Auto, and you zoom in to them in that particular night, and this is them. Movie. Definite movie. Let's go through here. Elon costume, bald cap with holes poked in it, and an ill-fitting suit. Well, I have the B costume. I'm probably going to bust that out. Do arms heavy that day, right? Try to get like a gnarly pump. Take like, I don't know, 3 scoops of pre-workout. And wear the B costume. And try to have just a pump the entire time. Because I'm not going to wear it with a shirt under, right? And tell bitches like, hey, yo, you want some honey? Maybe it'll be funny if I'm a drunk bumblebee. If I'm a drunk bumblebee. I was actually working out outside my place a little while ago. I mentioned before in the gymnastic rings. And a bee kept following me. And I kept running away from the bee because I'm not about to get stung by a bee. And I kept going inside and then coming out. And then it was still following me. And it turns out that bees are attracted to rosemary. The scent of rosemary. And I put rosemary oil on my head. So that mystery was solved immediately. My religion is Elon, my bank is Bezos, and my doctor is Gates. Dropping some Alex Jones bits here, dog. Damn, Stevie Wonder Brooks. I remember, as I've mentioned before, that it was hysterical when you said, hey, dude, you should look up Steve Brooks' Instagram. It's disgusting. It's awful. He's posting these terrible takes. And then I go to his Instagram. I'm like, man, yeah, it's probably awful. I mean, look at the guy. Fucking The Magic Cafe, terrible. And then I go and I'm like, wow, that's funny. Oh, shit, man, that's facts, though. I remember that. I'm like, oh, shit, all right. And I think I told you that, too. I'm like, oh shit, man. I looked. It's not that bad.
Okay, let's go.
Kion Slatzer, I have a local cop who looks surprisingly like Elon Musk. Met him a few years ago. I have his number for a project film idea. No, I'll be honest. You got his number because you wanted that dick. You wanted that dick. You remember that one chick that called in on ham radio voicemail that one time? She was someone's girlfriend or son, but she had a voice, bruh. I don't remember that. And it's scary that you remember that. I was looking at some episodes of ham radio, and I'm surprised as to the stuff that we're talking about. And also surprised as to the production value being absolutely abysmal in that show. For many times, the microphone wasn't on, right? That was a fun one. I remember reminding him to turn on his microphone and having whole episodes where the microphone wasn't on for like 15 minutes. Great. Good job. But the voicemails, I don't remember a girl calling in. I know that one wanted to get on it, right? There was a chick that Daniel knew that apparently wants my D. That odd, right? Actually, not odd. No, that happens all the time. That's definitely all the time. Chicks want me. I'm always having to, I'm trying not to, please. No, I'm trying to be a good boy. But there was one that he wanted to get on the show, which would have been funny and interesting. I know what you mean. South Park actually did an episode as to how much time passed since 9/11, and now it's okay to joke about it. Well, I believe Gilbert Gottfried joked about it on 9/11. I think he was making jokes the day of, and he got in trouble. How about the new Jeepers Creepers, the killing of a sacred deer? Oh, that's what movies you guys are talking about. Okay, so this got into a really, can I say the word gay conversation here about movies? And I feel like that's a good time as ever to end a stream on a low note. But if you still want to see more of this, right, I do stream on Twitch. Anytime I make a video for PigCake Plus, I stream on Twitch. So that's how I'm making content. I'm snipping those up, cutting them up into bits, and putting them on PigCake Plus, which is my other channel. So if you want to see more of this, check that out. And apart from that, I don't know what else. Maybe some advice at the end of the video, some tips, some bits, some banter. Fuck. I have this fucking SpongeBob deck here, which is fucking atrocious, right? Who was it that donated $10,000 to Biela? Was it Fontaine? Ramsey? I don't know which one. But we have the Fontaine SpongeBob deck, right? Which Danny gave me, which was pretty rough. So I guess some tips at the end of the video. Boy, don't get one of these. Look at the fucking border. The border is atrocious on this. I don't know who printed this, right? But the border is pretty bad. And I know probably, you know, I'm going to be pegged as a hypocrite when my deck comes out and there's inevitably some issue with it. People might not like the color. People might not like the alignment. I'm really happy with the deck as it's going to come out. But, I mean, come on, man. It's fucking SpongeBob. And the memes are also pretty fucking bad. We have Sexy Squidward, which I guess was, you know, needed. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I don't know. So I'm trying to remember, though, if it's the Fontaine that donated to a certain organization that used their funds for stuff other than what their name implies. Who was it? I don't know who it was. Steve Wonder. I'm late. Yeah, man, you're late, dude. You're massively late. 2 hours, the stream's over. I'm about to end this shit. I'm about to press the little button here, especially because my advice is on not getting Fontaine SpongeBob decks. That's what my advice was, which is, by the way, terrible advice. Maybe I should leave on better advice. Let me look around and see if maybe there's something here that usually triggers my ability to give advice based on things that I've experienced. Right? Fuck. Okay, you know what? High noons. High noons. As I mentioned before in the beginning, this is a female's drink, but the good thing about it is that it's low in calories and about the same alcohol content as beer. So you're not going to get a buzz from it. You're not going to get like buzzed. You're not going to get, you know, anything too good with it. But it is good in terms of calories. You're not going to feel full after you drink this. You're not going to feel bloated like with beer. With beer, you just feel like a pregnant chick. Right, especially me. I like Budweiser. I like Bud Light. I like trashy beers. With this, you feel like, you know, oh, hey, I'm ready to sit on a black one, you know? I'm ready to have intercourse with a black man, a person of color, after I drink this. That's how I feel, which is not necessarily something that you don't, it's not something that you're actively trying to avoid, right? Because then you're racist. But it's something that you should, you know, maybe only have once in a while. Right, so I guess that's good. Boy, I don't feel comfortable ending it there. I don't feel comfortable ending there. I don't think I've given enough good advice at the tail end of the stream. I know the deck was that. This was not really. This was not even good. That was kind of a car crash. Yeah, that was a car crash. You're right. I deserve that. So how can I end this? Giving good advice. Working out? Okay, you know what? Yeah, I do have some good advice. No, I have some really good advice. I bought these workout rings from Amazon. Let me see if I can bust them out here. Hopefully I didn't close this. But I got these workout rings. They're gymnastic rings. Gymnastic rings. That came out like a... I got these from Amazon. I'm about to show my desktop here by accident. It's not like there's anything on it, but good advice right here. Good advice right here, right? You get these. These are great. I've been doing push-ups with them. I've been doing dips, pull-ups. You're shaking like a motherfucker while you're using these, right? So you're pretty much activating all sorts of muscles that you didn't know existed, right? This right here is a great workout. Just fucking doing one of these and just doing this, standing up. Your whole abs, everything's shaking, right? So this is a great little thing. I've been fucking around with this, although I might have to replace it because position it because it's probably pulling on a window, and that's not going to be good. So good advice. Get one of these, man. Get one of these. Do some pull-ups, some push-ups with this shit, and you're going to get yoked. So I guess that's actually legitimately good advice. W in the chat if you want 10 minutes. Full natty bra. I always end up by coming. Corn Pop, if you're almost back home, I hope you could quit someday, says top notch. It's a legitimate good W advice there. Right, a full natty, says Warner Brooks. Although, yeah, that dude does not look. Well, he could be. I've seen these gymnasts, these Olympic gymnasts. They're my height, but they're 180 pounds, and I don't know, 9%, 8% body fat. And you look at them, and they're just arm heavy. They're just there. But that's good advice. All right. Okay. Nancy Pelosi does insider trading. That's the other crucial part of advice that I also say at the end of the video. There's no way she's made that much, even if she's been in government for as long as she has. There's no way she's worth $200 million with anything other than nefarious dealings where she's aware as to the direction of certain things and she's anticipating it and then getting into it and then pulling out at the right time because of information that she's received from the inside. Just a little,